Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Wednesday here on the show with Beth and I. Good to see you, Beth. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm excited about this topic today because you guys, he told me before we started talking, and oh, it's going to be so
So
good.
today, if you saw the thumbnail of this video, maybe you already have a hint, but today we're going to talk about getting ready for a photo shoot, and maybe why you should consider as an artist having a photo shoot, working or collaborating with a photographer to get some really nice shots of you as an artist. So that's the topic, and we're going to talk about that particularly because Beth, you recently did a photo shoot, and I this recently also did a photo shoot, both I think within the last month. So we work with
hmm
different photographers. Of course, you were in Nashville, I was in Chicago, and I think it would be really fun to talk about a little bit of our experiences and how do we get ready for that and so on. But before we talk about kind of some tips for our friends, let's talk about the reasons why you should consider you know working with a photographer on a photo shoot day or session, because it's an investment that you'll have to make. So, what are some of the reasons, Beth, for you that it's important to do it?
Oh my gosh, you have to do it. It's like just a professional thing that should be on your list of things you do for your business,
Mhm.
for social media, for your website, for
Mhm.
your email signature. It doesn't like anywhere you go that's showing off like you and your work and the things that you do, like you need to have, photo documentation of that.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I never thought of a photo shoot until I really got started, becoming more professional in my career on the things that I was doing. And you can always like say, "Well, I'm just gonna take a picture with my phone," and although those are okay, but there is something also about working with a photographer that on the other side, is helping you to look your best and it's helping you on the camera angle and everything else. Somebody who knows their craft, right? And knows what they're
hmm
doing, that I think it also can create a really wonderful experience for you as an artist. And as Beth said, then you have really wonderful documentation that you can use in all kinds of ways, not only one time, but for quite a while, because if you do a really good photo shoot, it should last you for a while to have all those photographs ready for you. So now let's talk a little bit about the actual experience of working with a photographer and maybe helping some of our friends. So maybe if you have never done that and you're like, well, maybe I'll consider that. What are some of the things that you like to do better in a photo shoot or working with a photographer? How is your relationship with your photographer in terms of making it the day of the photo shoot?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about this topic because I love a good photo shoot. I started doing photo shoots when I was like 10 years ago when I got interviewed for some press or something,
Uh-huh.
and they sent a photographer out. And I was like, what do I do? I don't know. I was so awkward. I
Uh-huh.
had no idea. So like let's just start there. Things I've learned over the years. Number one, have lots of different outfits, always have a friend with you to look at your jewelry, to look at your makeup, to look at your hair. Like it's always good to have an assistant there because you could be getting a great photo, but then your necklace is like way over here. It's like the little things that matter,
Mhm.
powdering your nose and all that stuff. Yeah, you can do things post production, but it's better to just have a really great photo shoot. Good lighting. That means natural light. So, what time of day are you going out? Working with a photographer who also can like give you some direction. Like some
Mhm.
photographers just point and shoot, but it's nice to have one that can work with you because if you can just move slowly and it comes like this dance that you're doing, because if you're just in the same,
Same
like those are
photos.
boring photos. Like don't do that. Like don't do the same, like stand there and smile at the camera. Like that's not gonna give you the variety that I think that you probably would want to come,
Mhm.
out of the shoot. Like do some research beforehand. Look at photos, like create a shot list. That's what I
Mhm.
do. I say I want a shot like this, and that. Talk with your photographer about the different shots you want to get. Work with someone who's going to be playful and fun with you. That's going to be a great thing, like work, doing shots in a studio is great, but I think getting out in the city or getting out in your environment, your studio, like getting into the nitty gritty of what your life looks like and being able to tell that story really well. So
Mhm.
I could talk about this for hours. So just stop me now. But what do you think about those tips so far?
Those are great. I love those. Particularly the one like, although the photographer is a professional or already, will have some direction, but you also as the one who's on the other side being photographed, giving the photographer some direction of kind of what you're looking for, right? Because the photographer will have an array of ideas, but he or she want to know also what you are looking for. It will help him to do his job a lot better if you give him some direction. And I did the same thing, right? In this last photo shoot, I sent them, a bunch of pictures, kind of what I was going to use them for. And that was really helpful, when we actually got to do the photo shoots, like, okay, now let's do a section for this type of things that you're going to be doing, or these are the ones that I'll be using for marketing. And, something that I also recommend is when you are going to be working with a photographer, take the time to get to know the photographer a little bit better beforehand, if possible, right? Because there has to be also a really good synergy and chemistry between the two of you, so that it really flows, right? So that it doesn't feel forced or weird or like you are, posing, but, it feels more natural when the other person kind of, has that chemistry, right? That can happen between the two. And the last photographer that I worked with, I worked with him through another photo shoot that we were doing for a magazine, and with a friend. And so I got to know him through that first. And then I said, well, this would be, I think, really good to work with him on a one-on-one, because I had a great experience through that. So kind of it already made the whole experience of going into a whole photo shoot just with me, because I already had that, and I knew the chemistry was there to make something really fun.
Yeah, you want to make sure that when you're working or you're doing your photos, that you're in your body and you're moving and you feel good, because then the photograph is going to show that energy within you, versus like being uptight, not sure what to do with your body, like robotic almost, like same photo every shot. Like there's a difference when you're comfortable. And so whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, whether that's with your clothing or in your environment, like try to find a way to get comfortable. Getting to know the photographer is a great way of doing that too. Also, the more comfortable you are with your photographer, you can be able to like look at the photos that you're getting out of the shoot, and then you're able to like, edit in the moment, like, well, I like this, or I don't like that, or this is my better side, or can we do more of this, like that. And that way you're collaborating in the moment. That way you don't get home and then get an email with a whole bunch of photos that you don't even like.
Right.
Like take
Super
that
important.
initiative to be able to communicate with your photographer exactly your vision, because look, they have their vision and they'll do that, right? But like if there's something that you're looking for in particular, like you're the one paying for that service. So make sure that you, number one, choose a photographer who's going to get you the type of images you want. Like, if you want bright, light, fun, whimsical, like don't go with someone who's like dark and moody, so
Right.
just be mindful of like you choosing that photographer and knowing their work ahead of time and being able to communicate with them in a way that really gets your vision across, so that at the end of the day, you love all your photos, you have a great library of new images. Especially make sure they're high res images, great quality. That way they can be used for print or digital. There's just so many things to think about. So make sure you're taking notes right now, or send me a message. I'm happy to share with you everything I know about photo shoots, because it's one of my favorite things to do. I am really good friends with my photographer that I work with all the time. And now he knows how to shoot me because we've been working together for so long.
Right, exactly.
So that's important.
And that chemistry is there.
Yeah. And he knows what I like. He knows my angles of my face and what looks best. And I can be completely honest and critical of the work without hurting anyone's feelings, because it's a collaborative process, and we're artists and we're professionals. So it's okay to say, like, I'm not really digging this, or let's try a different direction. Like in the last photo shoot we did, the lighting was never right. But we were out in downtown Nashville. And so what that told me is that we just needed to find a really great place that had lots of beautiful light. And once we found that, we knew, those locations we had chosen ahead of time weren't going to work because the lighting wasn't there. And it was as simple as that. So go out and have a good time. And if you want to go out with your friends and just do some test shoots beforehand to help you get more comfortable in your body before the big day with your photographer, then go and do that. Like, get ready for it. Go shopping, get your makeup ready, like get it all going. And that way on the big day, you're just going to have a blast, and that's going to come through in all the pictures you take.
Right. No, I love that. A couple of the things that I want to add to that is also, as you give the photographer direction and kind of things that you want to do, I really enjoy too when the photographer also bring his or her own style of working, right? Because sometimes you might be looking for what you really want, but then if you let that person kind of guide you into something, some really artistic and really cool looking photographs can come out, which happened to me in this last one. He says, okay, now we already did all what you want. He said, all right, now let's let me do some of my really fun, like, creative stuff that I want to do. And I said, yeah, let's do it. And those photographs were really amazing, something I would have never thought about. And letting him do also some, add his creative touch to some of the things that he had in mind, which was really great. And then another kind of tip there to also is good is to also try different photographers, because everybody will have a different aesthetic. Everybody will have also a different way of working, and sometimes working with somebody else, it also kind of gives you a totally different approach on the photo shoot itself, and that is really, really cool. And like Beth said,
100%, yes.
We can keep going and going and going on this one, but I think we have covered some really, really, really good insights there. And do the investment. Do the investment. It is really worthwhile doing the investment. And if you have another really good friend who's a photographer, sometimes also exchanges can happen. Maybe exchange a work of art, for something that etc. There's different ways in which you can collaborate, in which both can get something out of it, or you can just hire the photographer, and that also works really, really well. So, but definitely consider doing that, because I think it's worthwhile. You'll have fun. You'll have a lot of really good documentation. It will be really, really exciting. And yeah, so and if you want to check out,
this is awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to check out some of Beth's photographs, you gotta check on her Instagram. Beth, where can our friends find you and see some of the amazing photos that you have gotten over time?
Oh my gosh, over the last 5 years, I've had a photographer document my entire life career. So y'all go back on my Insta, like scroll down, you'll see like comedy, speaking, art, painting, everything. And yeah, it's awesome to have that. And check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm at Beth English. My website's bethenglish.com. What about you?
And you guys can find me also at Sergio Gomez Art on Instagram. That's where you can find also a lot of the photographs that I use in my memes, in my my marketing stuff that I do as well, and some of my studio shots as well. So check it out. And what I have done here for this episode, as we were going through this episode, you will have seen some of the shots that we both have, and we had tagged also the photographers in them. So also reach out to them, find them on Instagram if you want as well. You can find them also in the comments of the video. So have a good rest of your day, my friends. Thank you, Beth, for your time, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.